guys, and welcome to Fit as Fiddle with me, Harman Sidhu, on Nimami Live. So today we're going to be talking about a very special topic, strength training and cardio. Because the only two things that come to your mind when you think of weight loss is cardio or strength training, and there is this confusion that always remains. A lot of people would want to just do cardio, and some would just want to do strength training. So I thought that is something that I really need to speak about, not just on the basis of what science has to say, but on the basis of my own personal experience also. I am a real huge fan of strength training, and it has been a major reason of my own personal transformation. And so I feel like postpartum, a lot of women hesitate to start lifting. So I thought that we really need to talk about it. Now first I'm going to be talking about cardio. Now cardio is obviously a very good way to burn those extra calories. So basically any activity that will increase your heart rate, is going to help you burn more calories. So that you can do that by either cycling, running, or any other cross trainer or any other cardio activity, even without any equipment. So is cardio the only way to weight loss? Well, the only problem with just doing cardio for weight loss is that you get a lot of loose skin and you lose muscle. So there are a lot of benefits of strength training over cardio if you're just trying to lose weight and stay fit, especially postpartum. It is very important that you include strength training in your routine, because you really don't want to lose the fat and have a lot of loose skin. So what happens when you strength train? We basically build the muscle. So what happens is when you build the muscle, a lot of women have this question all the time, that how is that, there are no stretch marks on your body and there is no loose skin on your body. And I'm answering that right here today because of strength training. Because I have been working on my muscles from like literally day one. The idea, I have shared about this in the past also in the previous live, that the idea is to heal the body postpartum and not just run and do cardio, just do cardio and try to lose the fat. So we also have to tone the body, build the muscle, and that's how the skin gets stretched, which also makes the visibility of the stretch marks very negligible, and at the same time the muscle underneath stretches the skin, hence you have a less loose skin. So if you have any questions, I just suggest you put them down, and I'm just going to answer all of them at the end of this session. So now the next topic that I want to discuss is spot reduction. I know that postpartum, it is just that you only see your belly, and even for any other obese person, I think your stomach, your belly is a sign that if it is growing big, you know that you need to lose weight, and you would just not kind of see the rest of your body. And just having a stomach out is enough reason for anybody to start to panic. So when you go and include yourself, you start to diet or you start to exercise or anything that you do, I for a fact know that every person wants to know just this one exercise to lose the stomach, or to lose all the fat in the stomach. Or somebody would just come up like, my entire body is all good, I just want to lose fat on my arms, or can you just tell me some exercise for your legs, So just particularly people will just pick up one part and just talk about it, that I just want to lose fat in this particular place. So I just want to clear this, that spot reduction does not happen. Even science has proven this, that spot reduction does not happen. So why do we, I'm sure you will think, why do we then have to target particular body part, and why do you train it? Because we are trying to build the muscle over there. But when we talk of fat loss or weight loss in general, the idea is that you are going to have to burn more calories, and when you burn calories, you lose weight. Simple as that. If you eat less and you burn more, you're losing weight. So when your body fat percentage on your entire body drops, that's how you will start to see those muscle definitions and things like that. But just to work, like even if you do 200 crunches, you will not see your abs, or it's not like your stomach is going to disappear. So when the body starts losing weight, it loses it from the entire body, and you have no control on the fact that you can't just tell your body that I am working out today and can I just lose some inches from my stomach or my arms. It does not happen like that. Just like the way if you eat something, for that matter, like for example, if you eat a cookie, you cannot tell your cookie that please go and I've trained my legs today, so I want you to just go and stick to my legs. Doesn't happen like that, right? So at the same way, no matter what you do, you cannot lose fat on any part of your body like a sport. Like you cannot just work one particular part of the body and just lose weight there and you do nothing with the rest of your body. So when you start to lose weight, it has to be your entire body, and that decision of where it is losing the fat is going to be your body's decision. Now I'd like to speak especially about moms postpartum. I know that a lot of women face this huge problem of not being able to lose fat in certain areas, and despite of all the hard work and effort that they put in. Now what happens is, if you are a breastfeeding mom, there is a high possibility that your body wants to keep that fat in case of an emergency, to break that down to produce milk. So which is why there is a high possibility that you're not losing that stubborn fat somewhere in the body because your body wants to keep the fat. So once you go off breastfeeding, you will just lose it without much effort. So it is basically your body's way, your body basically decides. So wherever it feels like, there's a lot of fat deposit, it'll just start going away from there. So you can't just pick up one particular exercise, or even 10 for that matter. Even if I give you like 100 exercises for your core and you're not doing the rest of the body, you're not taking care of your diet, then you will not see much result. And especially if you're just going to the gym because you want to lose your postpartum belly, or you want to lose your fat in certain parts of the body, it does not happen like that. I really wanted to speak about it because people just keep asking again and again. My only problem is my stomach, my only problem is my back. ऐसे नहीं होता. If there is fat in our body, there is fat in our body, irrespective of where it is. So when you're going to be working on it, and when we specifically work on any body part and we train that body part, we are doing weight training and specifically targeting a muscle, it is to build the muscle over there and not for the fat to disappear from that particular spot. Okay, so I will answer all the questions later because then it gets too lengthy. Okay, now we're going to be talking about diastasis recti. Today we have to do I'm going to be showing you some core workouts, some of my favorite exercises that have helped me in the past to build my core and for the mummy tummy to go. So we will be doing that, but before that I want to really address the issue which is called, the problem which is called diastasis recti. It's basically what it is. A lot of people don't even know that. So it's basically a separation of your muscles. So during pregnancy, your stomach, your abdomen really grows back and it stretches the muscles out to the max. Normally, postpartum, those muscles go back to where they were. But in case they do not go, they create a gap which is called a diastasis recti. So there is nothing that you can do to prevent it, but there is something that you can do to heal it. Why I am touching this topic is because there are a zillion of core workouts all over the internet, and some women are absolutely not aware of the fact that they suffer from a diastasis recti, and they start to do these core exercises which are absolutely wrong for them, and they can do much more damage and harm than healing. So it is very important. So how do you know that you have a diastasis recti? Well, there are a lot of things that would be out there on the internet again would tell you that this is how you can see if you have the gap or not, but I highly suggest that you please check up with your doctor. She would be the best person to tell you and explain you how much is the gap and what is that you can do and the precautions that you need to take. So once you are aware if you have diastasis recti, your focus should be not to build the abs or not to lose the fat, but to first heal the core. Core is very important. Your entire body strength is right there in your core. And postpartum, it's your body is already done so much. Your muscles are already stretched too much. So we really need to work on healing that core. So if you have diastasis recti, there is a different set of exercises. In our previous 2 episodes before, I had also done these exercises that were absolutely safe for you to do if you have a diastasis recti. And today I am going to be showing you some of the exercises that anybody can do to strengthen the core and to build the muscles. But let me just remind you again, working on the core is important. Of course, it is very important. Building the muscle, just like you're training any other body part, is again very important. So just like you would train any other muscle part like your back or your legs, it's important that you train regularly abs as well. But are your abs going to be visible post these core workouts? Not really, unless and until you have a lower body fat percentage. Only then your abs are right there. Everybody has them. That muscle is right there. And even if you're never training, for whatever else you're doing in your body, whatever else workout you're doing, even if it is simply walking every single day, your core is built and you already have those abs muscle right there. But you have to see them, your body fat percent, and start to see your abs. So today we are going to be doing some exercises that will help strengthen the core. And I'm just going to put this right up. True, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever I just answered right now. So once I save the live, you can go back and listen to what I said diastasis recti is. Alright, so the first very basic exercise that we're going to do is, this is something that I've done before also. And just a quick little reminder that if you are starting out your workout and this is the only workout that you're doing, you really want to warm up before you start the workout. So in the previous episode, I've done a lot of exercises that you could do to warm yourself up and also told you about the importance of warm up. So please warm up and then you start doing this. So the first exercise that we do to strengthen the core is high knee. It's a very simple basic exercise. You could also do it like really quick and fast, but postpartum I really suggest you do it slow and easy. So just for an idea, I'm going to keep my hands up here so that you know how high you want to go. So we're going to just take one knee up right here, balance, and when you come up here, you want to really engage that core. And then you come down back here again and take the other foot up. Keep your core engaged, balance and come down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you could do about 15 of these and about 3 to 4 sets. If you're new to exercising, I kind of feel it's always good if you do 4 sets. Alright, so this is how you do. The other way, if you want to really do it fast, would be that you go upright like this with a little hop. But again, like I said, that I suggest that If you're new to exercise, postpartum especially, you take it really slow and go one by one. And keeping your core engaged all the time. So the next exercise we're going to do is flutter kicks. So you put your hand right here. If you can do it like this, that's okay. But for beginners, I suggest you put your hands down here under your hips. Make sure your legs are straight and we're going to come up. I'm going to come up. If you see when I come up, my core gets engaged. And now you're going to go up like this. 4, 5, 6, 7. If you can't keep your head up, you can take it down. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So, yeah, flutter kicks are very hard to do, especially if you've just begun. So I'm going to give you another alternative if you can't do it like that. It's going to do the same thing. It's going to be this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you cannot do flutter kicks, you could just alternate it with toe taps. Okay, then the second exercise that we're going to do is bicycle crunches. These are my favorite and also very, very effective. 2. So you touch your alternate knee and elbow. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11, 12. So you do the bicycle crunches. You could also do the regular crunches, but I feel the bicycle crunches kind of work the core much more. We've done the flutter kicks, we've done bicycle crunches, and now the next thing that we're going to do is a plank rotation. Okay, this could be difficult for people who've never done this before, but then obviously you've got to try new things in your practice. So you go in the side plank like this. You take a hand up, in and out, in and out. 4, 5, 6. So before you start to do these twists, I suggest you just put your hand out like this and stay like this. If you can't do that too, you can just put the other hand right here, give it a little support and stay in this light plank. Just like this, and the other side too. Three. Alright, so we are doing the exercises to target the entire core, the abdominal muscles, and build the core. Again, just a little reminder that this is not how you will see your abdominal muscles, and this is not how you will lose the belly fat. This is just to strengthen your core and build the muscle and make the muscle pop out, just like you would train any other body part. Alright, so the next exercise that I'm going to show you is again one of my favorite and very effective. Okay, so everybody knows how to do the standard plank keep your hands up here and you go in like this, right? So this is how you do the planks. I suggest if you don't know how to do the plank, you first practice the plank and then you go up to do this exercise. So I'm just going to go in like this and we are going to twist from one side to the other. Keep breathing normally. 9, 10, 11, 12, 30. So this is again one of my favorite exercises to work the core. And you can just leave your questions down there. I will come back and answer all of them together. So the next exercise that we're going to be doing is the toe touches. So you lie down again like this. This is a relatively easy exercise. And we're going to go both the sides, touching the toes. 3, 4, 5. While you do this, you keep your core engaged. 7, 8, 9, 10. So this you could just do 15 to 20. Right. Alright, so the next exercise that we are again doing are the bridges. I've also done it in my previous exercise, but I feel bridges should be included in your exercise routine all the time. Like no matter you've just started out, and when I'd spoken about bridges, I had specifically mentioned that this is one exercise that you start doing like right 48 hours postpartum, right on your bed. So we do the bridges once again because they're very, very important. So you just lie down and we're going to put the hands on the side and lift the hips up. Two, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to be doing just 7 to 8. You can obviously do more, 18, 20 I would say, and 3 to 4 sets of this. So you always squeeze your bottoms here, keep your core engaged here, feet flat, pressed on the floor, hand down here, and neck on the floor again, up and down. Alright. Alright. So these were some of the exercises that you can include in your workout alternate days and work your core just like you would work any other muscle. You really don't need to work those abs every single day because just like the way I've just told you, no matter like 200 crunches you do, they're going to be as good as you doing some other activity and burning the same amount of calories. So just train the abs just like you train any other body part. And try postpartum if you're trying to work on your core. Your idea should be to heal the core and not to stress it and not to just keep working that area so that you know kind of magically the abdomen kind of disappears. So that's about it, and I'll just quickly see if there are any questions. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so glad that you guys like this session. Now what you can do is, in case you have any more questions, you can just put them down on the IGTV and I would go back and save it. So this was about today's core workout. These are my favorite exercises and you can just pick up any 4 and include it. I'm sure this is going to be very helpful. And if there is anything else that you'd like me to specifically talk about, you can again put it down in the IGTV comment box and I will try to do, I'll try to bring that in any of the sessions. So thank you so much for being here with us on Nemami Live, and I will see you guys next Tuesday 7 p.m. Thank you.